We have finally made it to the weekend. It is Friday.
It smells so good, I can almost taste it.
But you don't eat bread.
And you know what that means? Friday is Top 5 COMC Day. We're going to talk about baseball, football, basketball, and hockey, and who are the top selling athletes on the site. Stick around. Hello to all my sports card collectors, investors, all of my collectibles friends. It is another day, another card video. Thank you very much for joining me here today. If you're new here and you're looking for consistent sports cards, non-sports card, collectible style content with a little bit of a finance twist, then you have come to the right place, my friends. Hit the big red button down below, the subscribe button. We will keep it coming along. Also connect with me on IG at SportsCardDad, and I'm also on the old Twitter firing off tweets on occasion. The Sports Card Dad. All right, we'll go ahead and dive right into this thing. So as you may have guessed, with the Phillies advancing to the World Series, they have got a player on the top 5. We'll just start with baseball. Number 1, it's Bryce Harper. One of these guys, it's kind of interesting, and I do follow the baseball card market, even though I'm not a big player in it. And I know that Bryce Harper's kind of been one of those guys, I wouldn't necessarily say hobby irrelevant, but just hasn't gotten the hobby love, so to speak, as some other players certainly have. And he's been a solid player for a long time. And now, hopefully, it's all coming to fruition here. I'm actually pulling for the Phillies in the World Series. I understand that, cheating happens in baseball, but the whole, pounding on the trash cans for the Astros, I don't know, they're just kind of like a villain of the MLB. And so I got to pull for the Phillies. So hoping that Bryce Harper gets over the hump and gets his first World Series ring. I believe it is his first. And so he sits at number 1. So, and as we talk about this data, we are talking about sales volume, not necessarily dollar amounts. So, the reason for that is just because one player has a massive dollar amount sale, they could move them up to number 1. And we want to do it based on volume. So just number of cards that have been sold. And so it's on the COMC.com site, as well as eBay, as well as port sales. And also keep in mind too, this is sponsored content by COMC.com. All right, so let's go to number 2. We've got Mike Trout. Number 3, I'm going to say the name wrong. Is it Riz Hoskins? I know, baseball people are like, dude, you are killing me. I just don't follow it. Number 4, Aaron Judge. And number 5, Fernando Tatis Jr. This has been kind of a play that I've been hearing. His cards really sunk, Fernando Tatis, after he was busted for PEDs. And there's a lot of people that think, hey, look, this guy is an extremely talented player. Maybe I can pick these up on the cheap. And then as we roll into next season, as he's coming back, maybe they get some sort of a boost. So I think that a lot of people are looking from a short-term flip standpoint at Fernando Tatis Jr. So that's kind of interesting to watch. That'll be interesting to see, I guess, as we head into the next season and so forth as he comes back. If he plays well, there's some interesting there might be an interesting play there, so to speak. All right, number 2, we're going to basketball. This is active basketball players, because as we always say, Michael Jordan is number 1 on the COMC site every single week. We've got number 1, LeBron James. Will he stay number 1? And I know that, look, he's the best player in basketball right now as far as achievements, accomplishments go. Steph Curry's kind of hanging with him to a certain degree, but a lot of people think this guy is the GOAT. But the Lakers are 0-4. So I'm kind of you wonder, you see Tom Brady struggling with the Bucks. You see LeBron James struggling with the Lakers. Are we starting to see a little bit of a chink in the armor? And so curious to see what happens here with LeBron James stuff as we move through this season. Steph Curry, number 2, popular players, playing great. The Warriors look like a championship team. So I expect Curry to kind of keep on transacting. Number 3, we got Ja Morant. Exciting. Some people say the most exciting player in basketball. Although Luka last night against the Nets was pretty spectacular. Number 4, Giannis. Number 5, Jason Tatum has moved into the top 5. No Luka here. No Luka, which is kind of interesting. All right, let's go to football. Sam Ehlinger is number 1. It's funny how some of these guys, they get an opportunity, they get their first start, or they get called up, so to speak, kind of like what happens in baseball, but you have an injury or whatever, and now you've got somebody that's starting at quarterback. And the thing I think that's fun about football, for people that do the football prospecting stuff, I've missed on most of the football prospecting I've tried to do with Ryan Finley and Mason Rudolph, etc. But you know, Sam Ehlinger is kind of the next guy to step up, and his cards are transacting. So I think there's some fun for people that get in, they buy these cards for a couple of bucks. If a guy like Sam Ehlinger gets a start, maybe it's $6, $8, $10, you know, and so it's interesting. Number 2, we've got Tom Brady, the GOAT. Number 3, Jalen Hurts with the Eagles flying high. He's still trading strongly on the COMC site. Number 4, Christian McCaffrey, of course, having to do with him moving to the 49ers. Not sad to see him move out of the NFC South as a Saints fan, but we'll see what happens with him. He's been very injury prone. They gave up a lot to get him. Is he the missing piece for the Niners? Number 5, Patrick Mahomes, the second, still playing great. Patrick Mahomes, a lot of people think that he is really kind of that next generational guy, the next kind of face of the NFL if he's not already. So we'll see. All right, we'll close out with hockey. Number 1, Nick Robertson. Number 2, Rasmus Dahlin. Number 3, Connor McDavid. Number 4, Sidney Crosby. And number 5, Alex the man Ovechkin. So some new names there, Nick Robertson and Rasmus. For the hockey folks out there, who are they? And how did they get to number 1, number 2? I assume that there's some excitement around them. Are they rookies? What's the story there? I'd like to hear from the hockey folks. I'm always learning. So let me know in the comments down below. And also let me know, do you have any fun plans this weekend? Anything good coming on? Do you have any Halloween things that you're doing? We've got Halloween on Monday night, so we'll see how it goes. Let me know your plans. And guys, hope that you have a great weekend ahead. Stay healthy, stay awesome, and I will talk to you again later.